morning students, myself Bina Tripathi. Welcome to your online class. See students, this is your environmental studies part 1 textbook of standard 5. And today I am going to explain you in science chapter 2 motions of the earth. See students, you know that motions of the earth, motion means what? It is rotation and revolution are two motions of the earth. And you all know that earth planet we are living. So see that rotation, try this. So it is activity based. Take a top, spin it and observe its movement. See students, you have to take a top and observe its movement, how it was making the movement. The top turns around itself, and you know all know that the top turns around itself. Any object that turns about itself actually turns around a certain imaginary line. The turning of an object around itself is called rotation. And see students, that means what is called rotation? That means the turning of an object around itself, we can say it is a rotation. And the imaginary line around which it rotates is called the axis of its rotation. And you all know that students how that imaginary line was drawn. That see that axis. Can you see that axis? So that means the imaginary line around which it rotates is called the axis of its rotation. You can see the picture, it is totally activity based. Now we can see about that the earth's rotation. Try this. So you have to take a globe like the one in the picture and spin it. Note the line around which it rotates. Now take a plumb line and hold it close to the globe as shown in the picture. If you cannot get a plumb line, tie a long thread to an eraser and make one. Say students, that means you have to take a globe like the one in the picture shown here and spin it. So you have to spin it and you have to note the line around which it rotates. So you have to also note down that how the line around which it is rotates. Now take a plumb line. You know students, plumb line means what? An imaginary line regarded as directed exactly towards the Earth's center of gravity. We can say the plumb line. And hold it close to the globe as shown in the picture. And say students, if you cannot get a plumb line, tie a long thread to an eraser and make one. So you will see that the plumb line and the earth axis are at an angle to each other. That is, the earth axis is inclined. See the picture. Can you see that? A globe. See the globe. See the north pole. See that axis and northern hemisphere and center part. It is drawn that equator. And see the southern hemisphere, south pole, and see the plumb line. See the thread was there. How it was? You can see that. That means a plumb line, a long thread to an eraser and make one. That means you have to tie that. So you can see that a earth rotates with its axis inclined like this. So how it make the rotation? And see student how that imaginary line was there. And so the north pole and south pole. And the center parts, equators are there. So see students, the earth rotates with its axis inclined like this. The line NS in the picture shown the earth axis. So see that students, NX in the picture. Can you see that? So NX, N means the north pole and S means the south pole. It passes through the center of the earth. It was passing through the center of the earth, students. The point N and S are called the poles of the earth. Now I said na, that be N, that is north pole, and S is the south pole. And see students, the point N and S are called the poles of the earth. N is the north pole of the earth and S is the south pole of the earth. See the picture shown very clear cut. See the globe, okay? Circle were drawn around the surface of the earth exactly in between the north and south poles. It will divide the earth into two equal parts. This imaginary circle is called the equator. See students, in this diagram a globe. See that the imaginary circle that we see in the center place, equator is drawn, okay? That means if a circles were drawn around the surface of the earth exactly in between the north and south poles, we can say it will divide into the earth into two equal parts, okay? And this imaginary circle is called the equator. See in the diagram, see the globe. So you can see about that, okay? The two equal parts it makes the earth of the earth are called the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere respectively. And see students, how that imaginary circle is called equator, see that, and upper part is the northern hemisphere, and next see that southern hemisphere. So this way the two equal parts it makes of the earth are called the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Okay, this stand a candle in the middle of a large table, draw a big circle around the candle, place a globe at any point on this circle, light the candle, see that it is dark in the room, suppose that the candle is the sun. So see students, this is totally activity based. Observe which part of the globe gets the sunlight and which one does not. So see students, in this place you to, that means think about that the candle is sun. That means the role of the candle is sun. Okay, so you have to draw that means you have to draw a big circle around the candle. That means you have to stand a candle in the middle of a large table. Afterwards draw a big circle around the candle. Afterwards place a globe at any point of this circle. See that globe is there. So to put that, place a globe at any point of this circle. Afterwards light the candle and see that it is dark in the room. So you have to observe that. See students, that means which place the candle light is passes, that place will be brightness, and which place it was not passes, that means not getting the light, that will be darkness. Okay, that means the well lit part of the globe show day. See the setting up of the model. Can you see the picture? That means front place the light of the candle was that means with the help of the candle, front place there will be darkness will be there, but back side there will be brightness will be there. Why? Because that place the candle light was not reach that place, or we can't see the back side candle light. Okay, so that's why front side with the help of the candle, because the candle light was shown that place, there will be brightness. Now looking at the globe from the direction of the North Pole, turn it anti-clockwise. This is how the earth rotates. And see students, anti-clockwise means what? Anti-clockwise is a direction opposite to that of the normal rotation of the hands of a globe, because of the anti-clockwise. So say students, now if you are looking at the globe from the direction of the North Pole, turn it anti-clockwise. This is how the earth rotates, and that is it rotates from west to east. That means the earth rotates from west to east. As the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun. So this way the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun one after the other and turn away from it also in the same order. In this way it was turn, we can say about that, turn away from the it also in the same order. See students, sunset and sunrise, this is also activity based. Try this. Stick a red bindi on the globe. On that globe you have to stick a red bindi. Set up the previous model of the globe and the candle. Turn the globe anti-clockwise. Note when it is sunrise, noon and sunset at the location of the bindi. Students, globe, day and night on the globe. Day means which place brightness are there, we can say the daytime, and which place darkness are there, we can say the night. So you can see that day and night on the globe. After one sunrise, note when the next one occurs at the bindi. You will see that this happens when the earth complete one rotation, that is when it makes one complete turn around itself. And see students, see that red stick bindi, you can see about that, stick a red bindi on the globe. Okay, red color. So that means students, after one sunrise, note when the next one occurs at the bindi. So you will see that this happens when students, when the earth completes one rotation. So that is when it makes one complete turn around itself. So earth one rotation, we can say the one day. Okay, this period of time that the earth takes to complete one rotation is called a day. And see students, that means we can say the day, that means when students, that means this period of a time that the earth takes to complete one rotation is called a day. And see students, a day has two parts. which are the student, that means daytime and night time, or simply we can say the simply day or night. So see the students, a day has a two part, daytime and night time, or simply day and night. For the purpose of the measuring time, we divide the whole day into 24 parts. And see students, that means for the purpose of measuring time, to measure time, so we have divided the whole day into 24 parts, each of which is called an hour. So one day there are 24 hours, 12 hours day and 12 hours night. Okay students, here try this. Now move the globe along the circle on the table. Now you have to move the globe along the circle on the table. As you do this, keep rotating the globe and ensure that the axis does not change its orientation. Eventually, the globe will come back to its original place on the circle. This is how the earth revolves around the sun. You all know that students, earth revolves around the sun even as it rotates around itself. The period of time the earth takes to complete one revolution around the sun is called 1 year. So see students, earth take its rotation, that means you can say it 1 day, 24 hours. But when earth revolves around the sun, so the period of time the earth take to complete one revolution, students, around the sun is called a 1 year. And there are about 365 days and 6 hours in a year. And see students, so you should know about that. The earth complete one revolution around the sun is called 1 year, and there are about 365 days and 6 hours in a year. Okay, leap year. In the Gregorian calendar, the year is taken to have 365 days. It means that it counts 6 hours less every year. That makes 24 hours or 1 day in every 4th years. See students, leap year means there will be every 4th year there will be leap years. And on the leap year, in a year there will be 366 days, and in February month there will be 29 days. Okay, instead of 28. So see students, that means we can say about that the year in the Gregorian calendars, the year is taken to have 365 days. It means that it counts 6 hours less every year. So it counts 6 hours less every year. So 4th year, that means you have to multiply that 6 into 4, there will be 24 days. Okay, 24 hours, that means 1 day in every 4 years. To make up for this lost 1 day, the month of February in the Gregorian calendar has an extra day, and 6 students every 4th year. That year is called a leap year, and 6 students, and it has 366 instead of 365 days. That means every leap year it will come every 4th year. So in the leap year there will be 366 days, and February has 29 instead of 28 days. Okay students, do you know that the length of day and night is not always equal? See students, you know that the length of the day and night is not always equal. This happens why students? Because earth inclined axis, and you all know that it's revolution around the sun. That means earth make revolution around the sun, and because of that the length of day and night is not always equal. In the northern hemisphere, between 22 March and 23rd September, the day are longer than the night. Therefore it is warmer than, that is, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. However, during this same period in the southern hemisphere, the night are longer than the day. The earth gets less heat in this part, and therefore it is winter in the southern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. See students, you all know that the days and nights is not always equal. Okay, and you also know that why it happens, because of the earth inclined axis. That means earth makes the revolution around the sun. And see students, in the northern hemisphere, between 22 March and 23rd September, you know that the day are longer than the night. That is, day are very longer than the night. That means nights are short and days are longer. Therefore it is warmer there. That way there is a warm, and that is, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. And see students, Because of that, summer in the northern hemisphere. However, during the same period in the southern hemisphere, the night are longer than the day, and this it was during the same period, students. In the southern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, the nights are longer than the day. In this place, nights are longer and days are shorter. Okay, the earth gets less heat in this part, and therefore it is winter in the southern hemisphere. Understood that? In the northern hemisphere there will be warmer, and the southern hemisphere there will be, that is, winter season. Okay, so these are the difference are there. Summer, that is, northern hemisphere there it is summer, and in southern hemisphere it is winter. Okay, so these are the differences are there. In the period from 23rd September to 22 March, the days are longer than the night in the southern hemisphere. And see, again, in the period from 23rd September to 22 March, see that the days are longer. That means they are longer than the night. Where in the southern hemisphere, it get more heat and it is summer. And see, students, that is because day is longer because of that, and nights than the nights, and it get more heat and it is summer there. In this period, in the northern hemisphere, it is night that are longer. The northern hemisphere get less heat and it is winter there. Okay, so these are difference are there. Note that there may be difference in these dates due to the leap year. So see, students, so you have to note that there may be difference in these dates due to leap year. In India, summer, the rainy seasons and winters are considered to be the main season. And you all know that in India, three seasons are main seasons. Which are the, students? Summer season, the rainy seasons and the winter seasons. So these are the main seasons are there in India country. We also divide the year into 6 seasons, namely Vasant, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant and Shishir. So these cycles of 6 seasons is called the Ritu Chakra. That means, students, we also divide the year into 6 seasons. Their names are there: Vasant, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant and Shishir. And see, students, these cycles of 6 seasons is called the Ritu Chakra. Many of our festivals are connected with the season. You all know that season wise so many festivals we are also celebrated, and many of our songs and games are also related to different seasons. And see, students, many of the songs and games are also related to the different seasons. Okay, the full moon and the new moon. The moon revolves around the earth and the earth revolves around the sun. However, these two orbits intersect, hence the sun, the moon and the earth are not always along a straight line. See, students, you know that the moon is a satellite, okay? Earth is a planet and sun is a star. So you all know that the moon revolves around the earth. The moon revolves around the earth and the earth makes the revolution around the sun. And see, students, these two orbits intersects, and hence the sun, the moon and the earth are not always along a straight line. They are not always along the straight line. We see half of the moon's surface which faces the earth. That is, from the earth we see only one side of the moon. And see, students, we see half of the moon's surface which faces the earth, and that is why from the earth planet we see only one side of the moon. Okay, the moon has no light on its own. You all know that the moon is a satellite and moon does not have their own light. We can see the moon because of the sun's light that's fall on it. And see, students, from the earth planet we can see the moon because the sun's light that falls on it. Which place the sun's light falls on the moon, that part only we can see from the earth. Okay, which part the sunlight not fall, that part we are not seeing from the earth planet, the moon, because moon does not have their own light. That means the moon has no light of its own. On the full moon night we see the entire side of the moon that faces the earth. And see, students, full moon day we can see the full moon in the sky. Okay, why, students? Because on the full moon night we see the entire side of the moon that faces the earth, and on the new moon night we cannot see any of it. And new moon day, that means Amavasya, we can say about that, and full moon day we can say the Purnima. And full moon day, students, we see the entire side of the moon that faces the earth, that means from the earth we can see the full moon is there in the sky. But on the new moon day, Amavasya, we can see that there is no moon in the sky. From the full moon to the new moon, the illuminated part of the moon seen from the earth becomes smaller and smaller. See students, that means full moon to the new moon. That means when we can see that in the sky there is full moon day, afterwards, that means from the full moon to the new moon, the illuminated part of the moon seen from the earth becomes smaller and smaller. That is, one day we can see the full moon day, afterwards it started to decreasing day by day. And see students, one day we can see there is no moon in the sky, and from new moon to full moon it again grow bigger and bigger, increasing. And these different shapes of the moon that we see are called, students, the phases of the moon. So you have to remember that means from the full moon to the new moon, the illuminated part of the moon seen from the earth becomes smaller and smaller. It was started to decreasing, and from new moon to full moon it again grow bigger and bigger, means increasing. So these are the differences are the students shapes of the moon that we see are called the phases of the moon. Okay students, lunar month and day, Tithi. You know that it takes 14 or 15 days from new moon to full moon. This is the fourth night of the waxing moon. See students, that means we can say about that, you know that it takes 14 or 15 days from new moon to full moon, and this is the fourth night of the waxing moon means it was increasing. The moon started to increasing. After the full moon, the moon appears smaller and smaller, and after 14-15 days it is new moon again. New moon means no moon in the sky, we can say the Amavasya. This period is the fourth night of the waning moon. Thus waning means decreasing and waxing means increasing. Thus the period from one new moon to the next is of 28-30 days. And see students, the period from one new moon to the next, we can say it is of 28 or 30 days. It is called the lunar month, and that is, we can say the students, it is called the lunar month. Every day of the lunar month is called a Tithi. And see students, every day of the lunar month we can say it's called a Tithi. See students, phases of the moon. See that means when there will be no moon in the sky, that means Amavasya. Afterwards, the moon part day by day it was started to increasing. See that it was started to increasing. So can you see that? So first how they started to increasing day by day, and after one day we can see the full moon in the sky. So all these are pictures. The picture is the phases of the moon. Okay students, and see students, the new moon 15 days and the full moon, that is waxing moon, we can say the Shukla Paksha. Okay, and the full moon 15 days again, the new moon, the waning moon, we can say the Krishna Paksha. That means you should know about that, the full moon, the waxing moon, Shukla Paksha, and the new moon, the waning moon, Krishna Paksha. The fourth night of the waxing moon plus the fourth night of the waning moon, it is a lunar month. So it is a 15 days, we can say about that. And we can say that the fourth night of the waxing moon plus the fourth night of the waning moon, we can say a lunar month. And see students, that means, see it is given here, we can say about that the period from one new moon to the next is of 28-30 days. It is called the lunar month. And see students, every day of the lunar month is called a Tithi. Always remember, see students, we can say about that the rotation of the earth give rise to day and night. You all know that because of the rotation of the earth, it will give the rise to day and night. and the revolution of the earth and the inclination of its axis give the rise to the cycle of seasons. Okay students, what we have learned in this chapter, that is motions of the earth. So what we will learn, first point, the rotation of the earth causes day and night. Yes, we will learn that because of the rotation of the earth, day and night, and the revolution of the earth around the sun and its inclined axis together causes the season. Next point, the revolution of the moon around the earth give rise to the phases of the moon. And see students, because the revolution of the moon around the earth give rise to the phases of the moon. Next point, the period from one new moon to the next is called a lunar month. It has about 28 to 30 days. Next point, the fortnight ending on a full moon is that of the waxing moon. The fortnight that ends on new moon is that of the waning moon. Next point, the day of the lunar month are called tithis. So all this we have learned in this chapter. So all these points are there, we have discussed in this chapter students. Now see the exercise. See that question number 1, what's the solution? Afterwards, question number 3, fill in the blanks. Question number 4, what is meant by each of the following terms? And question number 5, answer the following question. So see students, all these are the assignment I am giving to you as your homework. You have to write this in your notebook and read this lesson twice, 2 times properly. I hope that you understood this lesson. Thank you.